Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've come up with another topic for you all. It is the topic of international business, and the topic we'll be covering today is Incoterms. What do we all understand by the word Incoterms? Incoterms generally, these are a series of international sales terms, means what rules does an exporter and importer have to follow in order to complete their international business transactions. These are the world's essential terms of trade for the sale of goods. Whether you are filing a purchase order, packaging and labeling a shipment for freight transport, or preparing a certificate of origin at a port, the Incoterms are there to guide you at each and every step of international business. These rules are accepted all over the world. These were first introduced in 1936 by International Chamber of Commerce and have been regularly amended from time to time. These rules generally describe which charges will be borne by which importer and exporter. When will ownership and risk associated with goods be transferred from exporter to an importer, and at whose expense the exporter will obtain the documents? These terms generally specify the terms of delivery of goods. The Incoterms provide specific guidance to individuals participating in the import and export of global trade on a daily basis. Incoterms, these are a trademark of International Chamber of Commerce registered in several countries. We have 11 Incoterms which are used in international business. The Incoterms rules feature abbreviations for terms like FOB means free on board, DAP means delivered at place, EXW means X work, CIP means carriage and insurance paid through, which all have very precise meaning for the sale of goods all around the world. These terms may have a very small or very little meaning, but they might cause too much trouble if they are not used properly at any stage. The first one which we'll do now is EXW, that is X works. EXW or X works can be used for any transport mode or where there is more than one transport mode, that is for multimodal transport. This rule, it places minimum responsibility on the seller, who merely has to make the goods available, suitably packaged at the specified place, usually at the seller's factory or depot. The buyer is responsible for loading the goods onto a vehicle, even though the seller may be better placed to do this for all export procedures, for onward transport, and for all costs arising after collection of goods. It is the simplest form for quoting the international price. This term is the minimum price that can be charged by an exporter in the course of international trade. This term should not be used by the importer if he is not familiar about the exporter's country. Coming on to the next one, we have FCA, that is free carrier. According to this term, the first word is free, means no restrictions. Second one is carrier. What do we mean by carrier? Carrier means any person who, in a contract of carriage, undertakes to perform or to procure the performance of carriage by rail, road, sea, air, inland waterway, or by a combination of such modes. According to this term, the exporter fulfills his obligation to deliver the goods when he has handed over the goods cleared for export into the charge of the carrier named by the importer at the named place or point. The exporter pays for carriage to the named point of delivery, and risk passes from exporter to importer when the goods are handed over to the first carrier. That is, risk passes when the exporter has handed over the goods to the first carrier, right? Coming on to the next one, we have FAS, that is free alongside ship. According to this term, the exporter fulfills his obligation, his responsibility, his duty to deliver the goods when the goods have been placed alongside the ship at the named port of shipment. The exporter has to bear all costs, all risks and expenses up to that point, and further risks and expenses will be borne by the importer. This can be used for sea or inland waterway transport. This term requires the exporter to clear the goods for export. Coming on to the next one, we have FOB, free on board. Uh, this is the term which is most commonly, most frequently used in export pricing. According to this term, the exporter has the obligation to put the goods on the board of the ship. Or we can say that the exporter fulfills his obligation to deliver the goods. Then the goods are placed on the board of the ship at the port of shipment. This term requires the exporter to clear the goods for export. This term can be used only and only for sea or inland waterway transport. Coming on to the next one, we have CFR, that is cost and freight. According to this term, exporter undertakes to pay all the expenses, including transportation of goods till the port of destination. Further expenses will be borne by the importer. Or we can say that the sale price includes total cost of goods, packing, carriage, loading charges, and the payment of freight up to the port of destination. This term can only be used for sea or inland waterway transport, just like FOB, that is free on board. Coming on to the next one, we have CIF, that is cost, insurance, and freight. According to this term, the exporter has the same obligations as under the CFR term, but with addition that he has to procure marine insurance against the importer's risk of loss or of damage to the goods during the carriage. The importer should note that under the CIF term, the exporter is only required to obtain insurance on minimum coverage. This term can be used only for sea or inland waterway transport. Coming on to the next one, we have CPT, that is carriage paid to. According to this term, the exporter undertakes to pay the freight for the carriage of the goods to the named point of destination. The risk of the loss or damage to the goods as well as any additional cost due to events occurring after the time the goods have been delivered to the carrier is transferred from the exporter to the importer when the goods have been into the custody of the carrier. We have already discussed what is carrier, right? This term can be used for any mode of transport, including multimodal transport. Multimodal transport is using a combination of more than one transport. Coming on to the next one, we have CIP, carriage and insurance paid to. According to this term, the exporter has the same obligations as under the CPT term, but with the addition that he has to procure cargo insurance against the importer's risk of the loss or of the damage to the goods during the carriage. This term can be used for any mode of transport, including multimodal transport. Coming on to the next one, we have DAT, delivered at terminal. According to this term, the exporter fulfills his responsibility when the goods are placed at the disposal of the importer at the named terminal, at the named port, or the place of destination. Terminal means warehouse, container yard, or railroad or air terminal. The exporter is responsible for the cost and risk to bring the goods to the point specified in the contract, and the importer is responsible for the custom clearance of goods for import and payment of import duty. Coming on to the next one, we have DAP, delivered at place. According to this term, the exporter fulfills his responsibility when the goods are placed at the disposal of importer on arriving means of transport, ready for uploading at the nameplate of destination. The exporter is responsible for custom clearance of goods for export at the port of destination, while the importer is responsible for the custom clearance of goods for import and for making payment of import duty. Coming on to the last one, we have DDP, that is Delivered Duty Paid. This term represents the maximum obligation on the part of exporter, while importer has very little responsibility. This term is opposite to EXW, that is ex works. In DDP, seller has to bear all the risk and cost, including the export-import duties, taxes, and other charges of delivering the goods. If the exporter is not able to obtain import clearance, he should not use this term. These were the 11 Incoterm rules. Now we have another subtopic or another topic of this topic itself, that is FOB versus CIF. This is very, very important and this comes in exam for sure. In the first column we have basis, second we have FOB, that is free on board. In the third we have carriage insurance and freight, that is CIF. First we have meaning. FOB means free on board. Under this term, the sale price includes all the expenses till the goods are placed on the board of the ship. In CIF, it means cost, insurance and freight. Under this term, the sale price includes FOB price plus freight charged by the shipping company and the insurance. Second, we have risk. Under FOB, the exporter bears all the risk till the goods are located on the board of the ship. Under CIF, the exporter bears all the risk till the goods reach the port of destination. Third, we have value. FOB price does not include freight and insurance, so it is much lower than CIF price. CIF price includes freight and insurance, so it is much higher than the FOB price. Next, we have exporter's responsibility. Under FOB, the exporter's responsibility ends as soon as the goods are delivered on the board of the ship. Under CIF, the exporter has much more responsibility as compared to FOB price. Next, we have importer's responsibility. Under FOB term, the importer has more responsibility. Under CIF term, the importer has low responsibility as compared to FOB price. Next, we have popularity. FOB term is much popular in international trade. Under CIF, this term is not much popular as compared to FOB price. Coming on to the last one, we have export incentives. In India, export incentives are calculated on the basis of FOB price. CIF price is converted into the FOB price to calculate export incentive. This was the difference between FOB and CIF. This is a very, very important topic for any commerce related examination. Coming on to the conclusion of what we have done today, the meaning of various international commercial terms which are used at the international level for the fixation of price have been discussed in this video. It is very important for the exporter to understand these terms and their relationship to pricing. This will enable the exporter to fix optimum price for his product and to solve the number of problems that may arise due to misunderstanding between exporter and importer regarding terms of delivery in the process of international trade. Exporters should be ready for negotiations with the prospective buyers and should therefore be well prepared. This is a very, very important topic, children. You must prepare this topic well in advance for an exam. If you like my video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you.